happened?
It was murder cried here at midnight.
Robbie Coltrane was a comedy actor when he got cast as Fitz in Cracker. Nobody expected what happened next. The show's creator had pictured someone completely different for the role and got overruled by the casting director. After watching Coltrane work, he said he'd never second-guess a casting decision again. This was before Hagrid, before the Bond films. Fitz is a criminal psychologist who consults for the Greater Manchester Police. He is a compulsive gambler, an alcoholic, a chain smoker, and clinically obese. He's also the smartest person in any room he enters. The police bring him in because he understands killers. His own appetites aren't that far off from theirs, and he knows it. The show's creator borrowed his format from Columbo. You see the crime happen at the start, so the mystery isn't who, it's why. Coltrane won 3 consecutive BAFTAs for the role. Only 3 other actors have ever matched that streak: Michael Gambon, Helen Mirren, and Julie Walters. On the opposite end of the spectrum, you had Cadfael, a show about a 12th-century Benedictine monk solving murders during the English Civil War. Brother Cadfael took holy orders late in life after decades as a crusader. He fathered a son he never knew about. He killed men in battle and watched friends die in the Holy Land. Now he's in his 50s, tending an abbey herb garden, and when bodies start turning up, all those old instincts kick back in. The woman who created him wrote 20 novels over 17 years under the pen name Ellis Peters. She was a self-trained historian with an obsessive knowledge of medieval Welsh border culture, and she also worked as a pharmacist's assistant, which gave Cadfael's expertise in herbal medicine a level of detail most crime writers couldn't touch. Derek Jacobi played him on television. The show ran 4 seasons, each one shorter than the last. Only 13 of the 20 novels were ever adapted, and then it just ended without a proper finale. Patricia Routledge was famous for starring in Keeping Up Appearances. She played a social climbing monster in one of the BBC's biggest comedy hits. What most people didn't know was that she was a classically trained stage actress with an Olivier Award. And then the BBC offered her something completely different, a 60-year-old Lancashire housewife who decides on her birthday to become a private investigator. Her first case leads her to a homeless teenager and former shoplifter who becomes her assistant. That teenager was played by Dominic Monaghan years before Lord of the Rings. Together they take on cases the police won't touch: missing persons, domestic abuse, and the occasional murder. The character actually originated in a novel by David Cook, who based it on his own mother's experiences. ITV made a pilot in 1990 with a completely different cast and decided not to pick it up. The BBC acquired it, recast it with Routledge, rewrote the whole origin story, and launched it in 1996. The show ran 4 seasons. People loved it, and at the end of that 4th season, the BBC apparently told everyone involved that a 5th season would be commissioned. It never was. The show just ended, and nobody told them why. The Vice got so dark that even its lead actor couldn't take it anymore. Ken Stott did 5 seasons playing a Vice cop in Soho, and when he left, someone asked what image from the show stayed with him. He described a girl locked in a room with no papers, beaten, unable to leave. That's the kind of show this was. It follows a police squad that nobody respects. They're small, underfunded, and the rest of the force looks down on them because Vice cops don't get the big cases. They're working trafficking, prostitution, the stuff nobody wants to touch, and Stott's character keeps crossing professional lines because he can't stop caring about the victims. He gets involved with witnesses, plants evidence, takes down his own corrupt boss by playing dirty himself. Every win costs him something. The show doesn't let anyone off easy. After Stott left, they tried one more season, but it didn't work. Whatever made it special walked out when he did. A Touch of Frost ran for 18 years on ITV, became one of the most beloved detective shows in British history, and its creator hated every minute of it. In the original novels, Jack Frost is a piece of work. He swears constantly, he chain smokes, and he's got a predatory interest in underage girls, which was never going to make it onto primetime Sunday television. So when Yorkshire Television adapted it in 1992, they changed a lot, starting with the casting. They went with David Jason. If you grew up in Britain, that was a genuinely surprising choice because Jason was Del Boy. He was the comedy guy from Only Fools and Horses. Nobody had really seen him do serious drama. And Jason ended up reshaping the character to fit himself. He'd given up smoking in real life, so Frost stopped smoking too. The swearing got pulled back, and all the disturbing material was cut completely. What you end up with is a detective working a fictional town called Denton, handling everything from missing children to serial killers. He's rumpled, disorganized, always in some kind of trouble with his boss, and his personal life's pretty empty. But he's brilliant at reading people, and that's how he solves things. He juggles 2 or 3 cases at once and connects them through some small human detail everyone else missed. The funny part is that Wingfield, the author, couldn't stand the show. He liked David Jason. He was a fan of Only Fools, but he said the TV version had ruined the character. David Renwick had been writing One Foot in the Grave for years, which was about as dark as British sitcoms get. When he decided to make a mystery show, he came at it sideways. He didn't want a cop or a private investigator. He wanted someone who designs magic tricks for a living. His logic was straightforward. If you spend your days figuring out how to fool people, you'd be pretty good at figuring out how other people's tricks work too. So Jonathan Creek lives in a windmill, and his job is creating illusions for a stage magician who has no talent and takes all the credit. Creek himself wants nothing to do with fame. He's awkward, keeps to himself, and would rather be left alone. But he keeps getting pulled into these cases where something impossible has happened and nobody can explain it. Someone dies in a room that was locked from the inside. A body shows up somewhere it couldn't possibly be. Every time, Creek picks apart the illusion and finds the ordinary human explanation underneath. Because there's always an explanation. Someone just went to a lot of trouble to hide it. 9 million people watched the first episode. The show won the BAFTA for Best Drama Series the following year. And the last one is the big one, Inspector Morse. It was around for 13 years in total, but the 90s were its peak. At that point, it was pulling over 14 million viewers an episode, and over the years, something like 1 billion people worldwide ended up seeing it. It was also a place where a lot of future Oscar winners cut their teeth. Anthony Minghella, who later made The English Patient, wrote 3 episodes, including the pilot. Danny Boyle directed 2 before he did Trainspotting and Slumdog Millionaire. John Madden, who made Shakespeare in Love, directed 4. It was the first British drama to get a 2-hour slot on television, and the producer treated every single episode like a feature film. Real locations, serious casting, actual production values. In 2018, Radio Times voted it the greatest British crime drama ever made. Morse himself is a detective chief inspector in Oxford. He solves cryptic crosswords like other people breathe. He's also moody, a bit of a snob, often wrong about who did it to begin with, hopeless with women, and drinks way too much. His partner, Sergeant Lewis, is the opposite of all that. He's working class, has a family, and a basic decency. That relationship is really the heart of the show. There's no happy ending, which is unusual for this kind of show, but it didn't really end. There was a sequel, Lewis, that ran 9 seasons, and then a prequel that ran another 9. Between the 3 of them, that's 99 feature-length episodes across 36 years.